Hey everyone, welcome to our first painting from the Acrylic University road trip. During Friday Night Live, Jed will be painting unique locations from around the world, starting with this beach from Thailand. Afterwards, we'll be giving away the finished painting to someone watching the live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun and we're so excited to have you with us on this epic adventure.
All right, friends, welcome to Friday Night Live. I don't know if this is synced up, but just in case, I'm going to switch really quickly, but we're so glad that you're here. And I'm going to get into the tools, supplies. But man, this has been a good first day of the year, hasn't it? We've opened up with our miniature painting challenge. It's been super awesome. Had a bunch of you guys come in and do that. We're going to be painting this scene right here. Now, I might need to get Peter on here with me. Hey, Peter.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you remind me of the name of this place? Hi, Judy. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it's like the Andaman Islands near Thailand.
And if you are just joining us right now, here's the deal. We are taking a world tour. And the reason we're doing this is because we wanted to travel. Like here we are, and there's a big world, and there's all this cool stuff to see, and we wanted to travel, but we can't really travel, so we're doing it virtually. And today, I left my house, and I went to pick up Peter, and he was not at home. And I'm like, where is Peter? And I, started reaching out to him, and he said, I am way over here in the Andaman Sea. And I was like, where is that? And he said, it's over by Thailand. I went over by Thailand. I'm like, that is not by Thailand. That's in the Indian. It's like more by Myanmar or something like that. I'm like, he threw me off. He didn't want me to come pick him up. But I got on my jet ski and I went all the way over there. And this is where I found him, right in this little cove right here. So that's where we're going to be painting from today. And we're going to give this painting away. So if you stick to the end, see this right down here? Win this painting. Text the word win to me at 425-310-4182 and you can win this. You just have to stay to the end and we're going to pick a winner. So we're so glad that you're here with us, and I'm going to quickly go through my supplies and then we'll hear from other people because I know that some of you are saying hi and everything like that. So I use these Princeton brushes. They're flats, and they are sizes 4 to size 12. And I have basic colors out here, like these are my white, black. I have a yellow. This is cadmium yellow light. This is quinacridone red, and this is ultramarine blue. You can see that I normally have something set up here if you watched before, but I decided to go with this setup. And I've got my phthalo blue in this little cup here because this scene right here, oh, that's got a lot of nice, pretty blue in it, doesn't it? Look at that water that we're looking out at today. So it's going to take some of this. That's all I'm saying with that. It's going to take some phthalo blue to get here. So I'm going to get started. But Peter, why don't we hear who's with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. We got people from Facebook showing up too on your little chat widget. But we got David from Fort Wayne. We got Jane She says, "Hi
Nice.
Jed, love your paintings, Jane."
Awesome. Hi, Jane.
And then yeah, lots of Happy New Years. Lots of Happy New Years.
Oh, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
Super
Happy
awesome.
New
Oh,
Year.
David Browerman. I know Dave. Yeah, man. He's an
Yeah?
artist from, We did a art event. Well, I went up to an art event up in Fort Wayne, and Dave was actually one of the first people that I met up there. Super
Nice.
awesome to have you, Dave. Yeah.
It's awesome. Melody Rogers says, "I'm excited to join." We are excited to have you, Melody. Joe
Absolutely.
McDonald says, "Hey from Calgary, Not quite sure how to say
Calgary, Alberta, bro. That's next to just a little bit south of where Renee's from.
that. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh boy, we got a ton of people in here tonight. We got Jane Lufkin from Truckee, California. Vera from Devon,
Hey.
Alberta. Welcome back, Vera. Good
Yay.
to have you. Susie
Welcome,
Crawford.
everybody. So glad you're here.
Susie says, "I had fun painting the first mini painting today. So fun."
Oh, awesome. I know that it was fun to go into the group and see the different paintings coming out, and super, super happy that people jumped right into it today. I don't know if you saw any of that, Peter, but I saw a lot of people painting today. It was super cool.
That's so cool, dude. I gotta jump in there myself and say hi and check it all out and everything. Mary D from Colorado, Lottie Stout from Lake Stevens, Washington. Kristen says,
Nice.
"Super excited to watch the live stream from Crescent City, California." We're excited to have
awesome.
you, Kristen.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to say a quick note here. I'm just
Yeah, go
laying
for it.
in some of the foundation of what I'm going to be painting. Like, I'm just kind of drawing it in. And because I'm painting over a dark surface, I'm kind of using some dark colors here. So you might not see it super obviously right now, but I'm just kind of getting in the basic ideas. And again, Peter might mention this sporadically. I already mentioned it once, but make sure you stay till the end, and text the word "win" to me at this number right here, and it's going to enter you into the chance to win this painting. We're going to be giving this away, and we'd love for you to have this piece of our special vacation here in the Andaman Sea that you could take home and put in your wall.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, we're so excited about this road trip idea. We have some awesome, like, unique locations coming up, like stuff that's Jed doesn't normally paint necessarily. It's gonna be
it's gonna be really fun. We're going all over the world, and we've planned it out pretty well for this year, and it's gonna happen just about every other week. We're gonna do one of these. It won't be every Friday. But it'll be about every other Friday for most of the year. There's a couple months where we can't do 2, and we're gonna, just have 1 that particular month. But most of the year, you can count on having a couple of these on Friday nights where we're gonna be traveling.
Yep,
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So Jane Lufkin on Facebook asks, "Tell us more about your mini painting lessons. Can we still join?" Yes, you can, right, Jed?
Yes, absolutely, you can.
The
mini painting lessons, man, we've got, that's been really cool. There've been about, I don't know, last time I checked, about 220 people were in the group participating. Not necessarily had made the leap to the Facebook group yet, but they were in the actual course. And so yeah, there's still room. And if you go to Peter, would you want to put that into the chat
I did.
somehow?
I pinned it in chat.
Okay. Peter just pinned the link there. But yeah, it's fun. They're all about 30-minute videos, so enough to kind of really spur you on, but they're not going to overwhelm you because they're just miniature little paintings. So I think that it's going to be really fun. I've had so much fun already doing the lessons, and it's been really fun to see people already getting into them and pursuing them. So I'm really, really pumped up about it.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Terry says, so fun to see so many people from so many places. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of new faces tonight too. It's awesome. It's got me excited.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. I'm going to check something out here. I've got this one light on that I'm going to turn off for a second and see what happens. Okay, I think I need it. Or I need this one. Let's see. Let me see. It's always kind of interesting to me to see like how different the lighting affects things. I think that this might be the best. I'm not totally sure. The one looks better for you guys, but it's causing a glare in my eyes. So, but I might just try to battle through it for your guys' sake.
You're gonna have to paint with like sunglasses.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just like I might lean over like this and cover the painting every once in a while so I can see what I'm doing.
Sounds good.
Oh man.
Randy Sterl says we can see fine. Don't change it.
Okay, cool. I'm with you.
Randy.
I'm with you. That's guessing that's Melanie actually. Sorry for outing you, Melanie. You know, maybe it is Randy there, but very fun to have you.
Norm Clark. Oh, okay. She's logged in on somebody else's account. She says, "I, Linda Clark here, excited for this year's. I just joined Acrylic University. You're so positive, encouraging, and talented. Sylvan Lake, Alberta." Thank you, Linda.
Awesome. I love the Canadian contingent that we have.
I know.
We just continue to get Canadians, and I feel like part of it is that, like I've talked about before a little bit, is like in the States, I feel like there's a little bit of this resistance to acrylic paints as a like go-to medium for a professional, or if you're like serious. And so, but in other parts of the world, it's not that way. And anyways, it's very interesting because almost all the best acrylic painters that I know are Canadian. I mean, not across the board at all, but like, it's very interesting to me. So, yeah, for sure. Did you fall asleep, Peter? Oh no, Peter got up. I caught him away from his desk. See, I knew it when I was silenced there.
I gotta sneak off and grab
funny.
a little something to eat here and there.
Oh no, man. Oh man. Now you're making me hungry. Hey Peter, you know next week we're going out, bro.
Oh yeah.
To the good old. Well, we're not technically going out, but we're going to go get takeout.
Yeah. We're gonna get a feast.
I'd love to, actually go out, but we're not. But we're still gonna get the feast, man. That food is so good. I love that place.
I know. Yeah.
So what did you guys do for New Year's, everybody? Like, did you have a good New Year's? I had a really good New Year's. My sister came over, and that was fun. It was just fun to see them, and her husband and 3 daughters came over. Their oldest son is he wasn't able to come, but super fun to hang out. And we didn't. I stayed up through the This is what's funny about life for me, Peter. Hey, Peter, I know you're not there, bro. I'm about to call you out again, man. Okay. I heard that plate. I heard that. You're getting your meal. No, I'm just joking. What was I saying?
You're talking about you stayed up or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the deal. It's New Year's Eve, and at about 9 o'clock here, because we're on the West Coast, we heard some fireworks. And my brother-in-law was like saying, a lot of people will just light off fireworks at 9 because it's like 12 o'clock on the East Coast and they're watching the thing happen like in Times Square or whatever. And so they'll just light off fireworks then. And it's kind of like the easy way, right? Like, hey, saw it, don't need to stay up. And I know a lot of people still stay up and everything like that, but for me, we stayed up. Like I stayed up. I was, at about 10, my Renee and I were up, and I just 12 o'clock came and went. I had no idea that 12 o'clock came and went. And it wasn't because I wouldn't have cared and I wouldn't have like tried to pay attention. It's just that when the thing happened, oh, look at this. I need to do something because, okay, there's a little willow. Oh, that's our cat Silver and our daughter Willow. Thanks for coming in here, little one. It's thank you, Willow. It's okay. Silver wants to get up on my sometimes I hold Silver and paint with him. He likes art. I think I've talked about that before. It's like probably more just he always wants attention, but hanging around when you're doing art. But for me, the funny thing is, like, I was up totally forgot to celebrate, right when the time change or the New Year's happened, because I was like trying to get the miniature challenge. Like, there was a couple last things to do before we, gave access to people. So that was what I was actually doing. And then I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, well, Happy New Year. But that's kind of what happens sometimes.
Yeah, it was crazy. We stayed up as well. And like at midnight, there were so many fireworks going off. It was crazy.
Were there really?
Yeah, it sounded like bombs or something, dude.
Yeah.
It was just
I forget,
and
that's the thing. I mean, I'm thinking, like, I'm used to fireworks on 4th of July, but I've never ever like really thought about doing fireworks on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. And so I guess it's like, I mean, obviously it's popular. I just never thought about it really. Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting.
I know, it makes me want to up my fireworks celebrations to 2 per year.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking, where do you get it in the middle, or do you just save fireworks? Like,
I don't know,
because most people I know just get it at the 4th of July.
I know, and we're like in the suburbs, right? So I'm looking at all these fireworks and I'm like, there's no way this is legal, right?
Yeah, I know, totally.
But yeah, Chihuahua, you can get them off the res, and it's like, yeah. Oh, they were shooting them off until 4 a.m. in Lake Stevens, Washington. Yeah, we were near there. Yeah. It's crazy.
Man.
Candy Martin says Silver's almost as big as Willow.
Silver's gotten really big. I know. He's I made this song up for Willow when she was a little baby, and I said, like, she was probably, I don't know, 6 months old or something, and I made it up and I started singing it to her then, and I've kind of carried on singing it through the years, even though it's kind of more like, for her it's more of a joke, and it was always kind of meant to be a little bit funny, but it was like, I said something like, she's a big girl now and she can do so many things. Anyways, it was that kind of idea, but and then I just like go through like the things that she could do, like she can climb the stairs and whatever. And but now I make that up for Silver, because he's like, he's a big boy now. Like, he's a big boy now, and that's the truth, man. He's getting big.
He is. Julie Celeste says, we are in Bonnie Lake and we have fireworks every game day and every excuse possible.
That's funny.
I need to move there, dude.
Every excuse possible.
Martin says you should try to do a painting of Silver. I agree. We need to pressure Jen to doing that.
That would be awesome. Sometime I will, because people, I mean, we talked about that once. I think somebody else mentioned that before, or maybe we just talked about it, Peter, or something. Or maybe it was just me like thinking about it because I see people paint pictures of their pets or other people's pets. I've never painted a pet before like that, so it would be a little bit of a stretch for me. But I'd do it. It'd be kind of fun to do with silver, though. I really think that would be kind of fun.
It would.
What would I paint him doing, though?
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to get a good picture of him. You could give him you could do a real big one and then give it to Willow for a birthday or something like that.
Oh, actually, you know what? One of our members painted a picture of Willow holding silver.
Are you serious?
And, oh, yeah. It was so cool. She gave it to us I think it was for Willow's birthday or something like that. It was super cool. Willow loves it.
That's crazy,
it's
dude.
just a little picture, but it's really nice. Like yeah, anyways, it was pretty awesome.
That is really
Because
awesome.
that kind of stuff. Willow, if you know much about her, like she's a very sentimental kind of person. Like she loves little things and little knickknacks and stuff like that. So it's kind of the perfect thing for her is, that kind of thing. Now, if anybody has questions about what I'm doing, please feel free to answer. The thing that's really nice about setting your palette up like this, and I got this from Diana Shine. Those of you who've been part of Color 101 or anything, you know that I didn't come up with this idea, but you put your primaries in the corner, and then you mix like the secondary colors in between. So the violet here is just made out of the red and the blue, and the green is made out of the yellow and the blue, and the orange is made out of the yellow and the red. But what's nice is you can kind of like mix colors and have a place to mix them. I mean, obviously this gets a little bit messy. I haven't cleaned it off. I didn't clean it off before I started tonight. But what's cool is you can clean it off, but you always have a place. Like if I need to mix blue-green, I'm gonna go in this range right here, right? And I mix this up, and you kind of know how you mix things because it's laid out in a logical way. So it's actually, I'm starting to think, Peter, that I might just try to do this more instead of the, my normal thing up at the top, because I feel like this is so much more logical. I mean, the other is fine too, but this is like visually just easy to see, easy to explain.
Now we got to redo all the courses to reflect that.
I know.
No, I'm kidding.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
That's
Doug
the way it
Greenman
is.
says, someday, maybe, before the end of the universe, we'll get to see a Peter Stout original. Maybe.
Oh, man.
You know, Doug, I was
No
just
kidding.
talking about that because I know I accepted your challenge. I was just telling my girlfriend today I still need to do that painting.
That's funny.
But I'm not just going to do a painting. I'm going to make a video out of it, all right? I'm going to make it
Oh,
fancy.
that was what you said too.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up, bro. You should.
I know.
You're making it harder on yourself.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, dude. Oh no, Peter. You know what you got to do? You've got to participate in the miniature challenge. I mean, you'll probably say to me, I don't want to just do a miniature painting. I want to do something big. But wouldn't that be? I mean, that's a no-brainer right there, bro.
That would be pretty awesome. Randy says, could you talk about what you do with your water after your painting?
Yeah. Well, the best thing to do with your water after you paint is to let it settle, let the stuff settle to the bottom, because the acrylic stuff basically goes down and gets put down on the very bottom. So a lot of times what I do is I just let it settle for a little bit, because I don't necessarily paint back to back to back. And I also have more than one container of water. So what you can do is you can kind of, like when we used to paint a lot, we actually had this, we had a studio that we painted out of. We had a kind of a filter system where we would pour the water through this filter system, and it would catch all the the acrylic stuff, the polymer, whatever it is. And so basically just the water would go through and the acrylic stuff would stay in this filter kind of thing that we had. And now we don't, that was like we were dumping out a lot of water at one time usually, like because we'd have a class and there'd be like, 15 buckets of water that we'd have to dump out at the same time. So that was kind of how we did that then. And so I suppose if you could figure out a way to, do that all the time, that'd be fine. But I don't really need to. So what I normally do is I let it settle, and I have a a place where I have basically kind of like this, a similar kind of, like if you need a bigger bucket, this is like the other way to do it is you can put it into a bigger bucket. If you want to reuse your smaller buckets, you can put it into a bigger bucket, and you can like dump it in there, dump it in the bigger bucket. It has more time to settle. But what I basically do is when it's settled down to the bottom, I'll drain off the top and make sure that that's, clean enough that it's not, draining the acrylic junk into wherever I'm putting it, which I usually have a, I put my drain into just like a gravel area that's close to our house, that's, good, safe, everything like that. And then I'll wipe out the bottom of the bucket that has the residue kind of still sitting there. And that's kind of how I work on dealing with that. Man, I just realized something here. This is kind of funny because I got so off on my drawing that I totally was doing the wrong thing in the wrong place. I'm just realizing that I don't know how I did this, but this is supposed to be dark in here. Like this is all actually still dark. And somehow I got in here and I started thinking that this was light, but this area out here is the light area. So I have to come back over this and I'll just do some bigger, broader brush strokes here to turn that back into a bit more of a dark area. It doesn't have to be, in most of these places, like where you'll see paintings that you'll really love. Often, one of the things that I've noticed about paintings that I love is they do a good job with reflected light. And so shadows they might be deep, they might be dark, but they have reflected light in them. And so that means like the light that's shining on this face is able to come back and reflect a bit on this other face that's here. And it's not just a really dark black shadow or something like that. It's actually got life to it, and it's got some interest to it. So I hope that was a fair enough answer to your question there about where to dispose of water. I know that it's different for people living in different places, what's accessible to you and not, but I think that, I'm trying to think, Renee might have had a good article that I think we put into, that she linked to in one of our Q&A articles that we did. And it had some really good thoughts on how to dispose of water and just anything that was related to that in acrylic painting. And I don't know, but maybe if you went to Acrylic University and looked up articles, you could find by looking up a keyword in the articles. I'm trying to think of what a keyword would be, but maybe like something like clean, how to dispose, maybe the word dispose. If you looked up dispose in the article section, there's a little search thing there. And I think that it might pull up that one article and that link for you. But
Um, let me see. Oh, Susan Eckerd says, Jed, do you know you look like the adult Ralph Macchio?
Oh,
And
really?
I
That's
look.
hilarious.
It's true. You do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you look like the adult Ralph Macchio.
No way. That's so funny.
Yeah, you gotta
We
look
were
it up.
just talking about the. Remember a few weeks ago or a few months ago, we were talking
Yeah.
about that whole movie and everything because we had just watched it with Willow. It's
do.
Karate Kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in case, because you hadn't seen it. I don't think you still have, probably, because you don't watch movies very often.
Wait, the original Karate Kid?
Yeah.
No, I've seen the original.
Have you seen
Karate
it?
Kid. Oh yeah.
Oh, you have? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought that you had said that you hadn't seen that.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was myself. I hadn't seen it. I mean,
Yeah.
but now I have, but I hadn't seen it before then. But maybe people were saying to me something. Maybe I'm just reliving my life, saying it was you. Yeah, that's funny. I'll have to look that up, man.
Yeah, for sure. Todd Gardner says that would be helpful to know as I'm moving soon to an apartment where I will want to dispose of dirty paint and water properly and easily.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the thing is sometimes like our living situations can change, and what used to work for us, we need to adapt or something like that. Todd, good to hear from you, man. I was thinking about you the other day because I don't remember. I just was like, I haven't heard Todd's name in a little while. Nice to have you.
Beth asks, what bright blue paint are you using?
Okay, so this is, I'm starting to dip into my phthalo blue here, and it's just mixed in with some of the colors that's down on the palette and then a little bit of white. So it's got more room. It can still get brighter than it is, but it's starting to get a little bit on the bright side. Makes me think of a song by, who is that band? It's called Mr. Brightside. Oh yeah. Yeah, The Killers.
Yeah.
That's such a weird name for a band. At
is.
first I was like, I don't want to listen to that band with such a name like that. Then I heard some of their songs and I really liked them, so.
Yeah. They have some good music, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm done.
Um,
You go ahead.
Tammy says, I'm impressed that you're able to talk and create at the same time. I'm silent when I'm painting or sketching, like in another world.
Well, you have to just bear with me because I talk all the time, and Renee, my wife, she's always looking for a little space where I'm not talking. No, I try to listen too, but it's over time. I've just gotten more and more used to it, where it's kind of like two parts of my brain. But you want to know something interesting, Tammy? It's this, that you know how I'm not talking about art at all? I'm just talking.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while I'll talk about art. I actually think that it's easier for me to just carry on a normal conversation than it is for me to explain what I'm doing or my thoughts. I mean, I do that a lot too because I've had to with teaching, but that was a harder transition than for a long time, like forever. Since I started painting, I've been painting around people. Like we would go to Renee's parents or my family, and I'd just sit around and I'd be painting and I'd be talking to people kind of at the same time. So that's always been, it's kind of been easy for me. It's been a little bit natural. But teaching is a little different because now you have to think about what you're doing and explain what you're doing and why you're doing it. And for whatever reason, that was a trickier transition for me than just talking. And
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I've always described you as an intuitive painter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that mean in your mind?
Like you you can paint really well, but you have a hard time explaining what you're doing. You kind of feel it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's taken way more effort, to try to do that, right? For sure, it's definitely not the natural bent. The natural bent is just to do it and not even think about why I'm doing it. Because that's the whole thing. Like with art, at some point, what's kind of cool is like, okay, this just reminds me, for those of you who are, you're doing art and you're trying art, and maybe you'll either remember the first time that you did it, or maybe it is your first time really to do it now. And if it is your first time, then you're probably going through something like the experience of when you're first trying to drive. You've gotten your license, or you're not even gotten your license yet, but you're got your driver's permit, and you're able to, take your mom and dad's car out or whatever it is, and you're able to like finally start learning how to drive, in the real world. And the first time you go out, you are just totally fixated on everything that you're doing, right? I mean, like, you can't do anything else except just that. And over time, though, that like whole idea kind of begins to go away. And it's the whole idea, like, I've been reading this book called Atomic Habits, and it's really interesting, but it was reinforcing something that I'd read somewhere else in a different book or something. But it's the idea that your brain is always trying to force things into the subconscious. It's always trying to figure out ways to not think about what you're doing. Like, you want your brain, the more you can develop habits. So his whole point is, like, if you can develop habits, then you don't have to spend time and energy thinking about what you're going to do. You just do it. You don't have to, like, if you have developed a habit of getting up in the morning and going for a run, and exercising or whatever, that's a habit, right? I mean, you can develop it. But once it's a habit, you don't have to think about, when am I going to run? How am I going to work this into my schedule? What am I going to change? What am I going to do? Like, it doesn't require that much brain power anymore. And so you're actually more free to think about new things, new ideas. Yeah. Like, what could I do with my time now? Like, I've got a little bit extra brain, even when you're running, you've got like this extra kind of space in your brain that you can imagine new things and try, you just have more space. And it's kind of the same thing for me with art, is that this has become habitual to me now. Like, I know how to mix colors. I know the way these colors are going to work together. I know what's going to happen when I drag my brush across the canvas. I know what's going to, and I don't have to like sit and think, okay, how am I going to mix that color right there? I just kind of do it. And that's a little bit what you're talking about intuitive painting, Peter, I think, is like this idea that you get to a place where you've done it so many times that you're not thinking about it really anymore. You're just doing it. And there are always going to be times when I totally have to think about painting, because it's tricky, it's hard. It's not like there's always problems to solve in art. But at the same time, I can kind of get into a zone where I'm just painting, and if you've painted at all for a little while, you'll know that that's kind of what happens, that you can get into the zone, and you're thinking about other stuff. You're just kind of doing stuff, and you're still painting. And it's why it's so relaxing. It's why it's so fun. And sometimes we find that we've done something really good. Sometimes we look back and we think, oh man, I don't know what I was doing. Like that kind of thing. But the more we do, the more we can kind of get into those modes where our brain is able to not turn off, but it's able to process other stuff at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
What you eating there, dude?
A hamburger.
Ah, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making you talk when you're eating. I have a habit of doing that. I have a habit of asking people questions like right when they've taken a bite. It's by accident most of the time, but I don't know. I was with somebody not that long ago, and they'd just taken a bite, and I of course asked like some question. They just kind of looked at me like, "Why did you wait until I took this bite?"
Yeah.
That was.
Dude, everybody's sold out of snowshoes like everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, man. Nobody has.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So you guys are not going tomorrow, I take it then.
Nope.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all good.
Peter and I and Renee and Willow went snowshoeing. Was that just last Saturday?
Yep.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, we went snowshoeing last weekend, and then Peter wanted to go out again, and the irony of it is this, that we returned our snowshoes because we decided that we wanted to get some different kind, and we returned ours, and then Peter decided that he wanted to get another pair for his girlfriend, and now he can't find them, and we just returned 3 pairs. The irony of it all. Of course, she wouldn't have wanted my pair or Willow's pair, but she could have used Renee's, I'm sure.
Can I rent snowshoes? Potentially. If they have a rental up there. That is a possibility.
Oh, you know what? They do. They do. I'm almost sure they do.
Oh, really?
You should look that up.
I should look that up.
Yeah, I think that when I walked back across, because we crossed and I had to go close to the lodge area, and I'm pretty sure I saw a sign that said something about snowshoe rentals.
That would be really cool.
Which I've never, I knew that they had ski rentals and stuff like that, but I wouldn't doubt if they did. So this paint is a little bit dirty. It's got a little bit of color in it. So when I'm kind of creating this color, it's white and this phthalo blue that I'm mixing together, but it's still got some of this other color in it, and it's a little bit on the dirty side. So I'm gonna end up coming back over this again, and I'm gonna brighten that sky up some, but it's also gonna get a little bit cleaner the next time through. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do over here on this edge, because the shape of this is kind of interesting. I don't know if I like this there's a little kind of knob thing that sticks out there. I think I'll just go like that. Okay.
Someone asks,
and now we can.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Someone asks, what's the coldest weather that you've ever done plein air painting?
Well, it was when I was in the Canadian Rockies, I'm pretty sure, and it was close to freezing, or it was below freezing actually. I think it might have been below freezing. I don't remember for sure. It was in October. It wasn't supposed to be quite as cold as it was, but it was pretty cold. And yeah, I don't remember the exact temperature, but it was pretty cold. It was snow. There was snow everywhere, and it wasn't melting. So that can give you an idea of how cold it was. But I don't remember for sure what the actual temperature was. I do know that what surprised me about it was, because I was painting in acrylics, of course, but what surprised me was that, because I'm thinking, oh, well, it's going to take a long time for these acrylics to dry because it's so cold. But it actually, the paint dried super fast, and it was like, it felt like it was drying as fast as it would in the summer on a dry day, which was really interesting to me. But I think that the reason it was like that was because it just had to do with the air dryness, the dryness in the air, and it didn't really have to do with the temperature at all.
Right.
Because the air there is really dry. So anyways, yeah, it's kind of weird. But I also don't know. I've heard some different things. Like basically what I would do is I would paint outside, and then I'd end up bringing my paintings, and I'd always bring my paints in. You know, like if I had taken them out in the car, I always made sure I brought them back in because I didn't want to leave them outside or in the truck. But that was. What was I going to say about that? Let's think here for a second. Oh, well, so I guess, I mean, I never had any problems with those paintings. Like, none of them were, like, super amazing. They were basically kind of like studies in the way that I looked at them. They were okay, but I don't think that I really ever did anything with them. But I don't think that there was any problem with them either in the sense of, like, they didn't have any issues from being out in the cold or anything like that. But I don't know if they would have had more issues if I had not had the opportunity to bring them inside and, you know, like do something
Right.
with them to allow them to dry out or whatever they needed to do.
Carrie James said, "My kids and I have been reading Sherlock Holmes, and we just read The Sign of the Four, which is about the Andaman Islands."
Oh, really?
That's
cool. Awesome. That's awesome. So tell us about it, because I mean, I'm here now painting off this beautiful, place. Boy, you want to know something crazy? Oh man, that's so weird. The color looks totally different on your screen. Or at least on my screen. Let me see what it looks like on this screen. That's funny. Yeah, the color that you guys are seeing is really a little different than what I see on my painting, but just have to trust me. I've got it bang on. Yeah, but I want to know what the Andaman Islands like. Tell me about them. That's interesting. Because like I said, I'm just here painting, but I don't have any background to this. I just had to come pick Peter up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother is going to Hawaii, I think, at some point in the future, with his wife for a like, I don't know if it's an anniversary trip or something like that, but it's kind of got me thinking about, boy, I hope that there are, good times to travel and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Coming up. But because I'm looking forward to it for sure. I know that there's probably a lot of people who would love to.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are we going next, Peter?
Where
are we going next week?
Check.
Next time? Don't say it to anybody else. Just say it to me. No, I'm just joking. Can't do that, can we?
Nope. I mean, do you want me to keep it secret or no?
No, I'm just. No, it's okay.
On the 15th, we have the Niagara Falls.
Ooh,
That'll
whoa,
be
that's
cool.
going to be
Yeah.
cold. It's going to be cold there at the Niagara Falls. You know what? I think we should turn up the temperature a little bit when we're there.
How are you going to paint when you're getting mist all over you?
Oh, man, it's going to be tough. But thankfully, I'm able to set, like here, it's so hot here right now. It's so warm and nice. But I've set up this tent that I'm in, and it's allowing me to just totally relax. I'm not in too much heat, too much humidity, anything like that. So I think I'll try to figure out something like that for the Niagara Falls area.
Sounds good.
Of course, it'll be more shelter from the water, shelter from the cold. Okay, yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying this place.
Yeah, it looks real good. People are saying they like the texture and the shape of the rock on the left, one person said.
Okay, cool. Nice. It is a cool, it's a pretty cool, I mean, what I like is the idea of, I mean, you know, it's fun to see new things. I've not traveled a ton in my life. I've traveled like within the States and into Mexico and into Canada, but I've never gone to Europe or before this, Asia, before this trip, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. It's just interesting to me because sometimes I'll see things like, you know how Windows will bring up these crazy pictures and different stuff from all over the world.
Oh yeah, like on your lock screen.
Like stuff like that. Yeah. But I'll like think, wow, that looks so vastly different than anything that I've really ever seen, right? It's like a world that's so different, right? And I always find that interesting because some places look where you're like, oh yeah, that looks kind of familiar.
Right.
That looks, you know, kind of like, oh yeah, I can see that. And then there's other times like you see something and you're like, whoa, that looks totally wild. Where is that? Trying to bring a little bit of these cracks back in here.
Terry Carlson says, I like to cruise Instagram for exotic places I will never go.
Oh yeah.
You never know. Maybe you will get to go there. Laura Azeltine says, how about New Zealand? I want to skydive in New Zealand. That's like on my bucket list.
Well, are we going to New Zealand? I can't remember.
I think we are. I can look at our list here. We are in October. We're going to New Zealand.
Yeah, I thought we were. That's going to be fun.
Yep.
Hey, Laura, by the way. Laura did the little miniature painting today.
Yo, Jed, 1 second. My
Isn't
headphones
that
ran out of battery, so that's with your
Oh no. I'm on my own here. So congratulations, Laura, on that. It was so funny because Peter and I we were doing some work the other day, and we met up, and we went and got something to eat at the grocery store. We just went and picked something up, and we were sitting in the car, and then I looked out my window, and I was like, hey, there's Laura. Laura was walking by. So I jumped out of the car and said hi. It's fun to see you, Laura. So we've got like these really nice colors over here on this. Man, I can't wait to give this to somebody tonight. I don't know. Maybe, who was it who said that they had been, or they were reading the Sherlock Holmes books? This would be a perfect painting for you. You could give it to, I think you said you're reading it with your kids or something. Yeah. You know what's, it's kind of interesting because as much as you know, I've never had one night with a Friday Night Live where there wasn't one thing that kind of happened that was like with technology that was a little bit weird. And like, so it's kind of funny that, it's kind of funny that I'm just sorry, I stopped to read some comments. I shouldn't do that. It'll stop me from talking. But when Peter's headphones went out, it's kind of like, of course they did. You got to have one thing go out like every week, or else it wouldn't be a real week. You know, you wouldn't have really felt like you did Friday Night Live. Got to have something happen. So far, I had managed to not do one of my normal things. Like a couple times I've left this. I've done the funniest things sometimes that's caused problems before. And so I managed to kind of avoid those today a little bit, which is good. I'm proud of myself for that. But what I love about this place in particular right now, and this reminds me a little bit, it's like totally different setting, totally different look, but it reminds me a little bit because a couple years ago, we filmed a plein air kind of video where we went out in our boat and we drove kind of where we're at across the, I don't know what you call it, but the channel, the sound, whatever. And we went over to the Deception Pass area near Whidbey Island, and we basically went into this cove, and I ended up painting this rock. It was kind of this, it was like a rock with trees, but it actually had a shape kind of similar to this. And what was totally fascinating to me when I was sitting there painting was the variety of color in that rock. It was like gorgeous. It was so fascinating though. It's like just, you know, because at one glance, you just take a quick glance at something like this and you think, oh, rock, you know, brown, gray. But then you kind of look at it closer and you start realizing, my goodness, there are so many colors in here. There's so many colors in the shadows and such variety, and it's so interesting, and it's like you can sit there and look at it. And that was what happened to me that day when I was painting out there on the beach. I'm standing in the sand and I'm looking over here at this big rock, and I think the rock was in the shade, but there was so much interest just in the variety of texture and color, and there was like areas of the rock that looked like they were rusty. They had this brown kind of rusty feel to them. It was just so cool, and these rocks that I'm painting right now are reminding me of that quite a bit.
All right, I'm back, Jed. Sorry about that.
Sweet. Cool, man. No problem.
Yeah, the rocks are looking good. It reminds me of the painting you did at Deception Pass.
Yeah. Did you hear? Oh, you didn't hear me say that, but that was what I was just talking about.
Nice.
No, I was totally just talking about that.
Nice.
I actually thought that you were that you could hear for some reason. I was like, but now that I think about it, yeah, your headphones weren't working.
Nope.
Not your microphone. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was just saying. I was saying how the variety of the colors and stuff in the rocks are what's so interesting to me right now. It's like, because that's what started happening over there was I was like, man, these rocks are so cool looking and just so varied and interesting. And so I'll probably get caught up in that a little bit here. Like, you know, maybe exaggerate that a little bit. I'm not sure. I know I've got just a tiny bit of light hitting this rock over here, and I do think I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit because I can. Well, this color.
Yeah, Patricia, you don't get confirmation texts anymore, but we do get them. We changed our texting platform, so you don't get a confirmation text, but we are getting your texts. So
Yeah. We still get them. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna come up and do a coat in the sky. So I want this to be brighter.
sounds good.
In the photograph, it's like almost white down here. Yeah. Trying to think, Peter. Oh yeah, is Jonelle? Did you work that out with her? Did she say that she could do that next week, or was that still something that you were trying to?
Yeah, I haven't asked her yet. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, would be. So I'm just thinking here that I'm going to just start talking a little bit about what I'm doing. So as I'm painting, one of the things that I always do is I always start looking at if the colors and values are working together. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this sky right now is because I started doing more color on these rocks and lightening them up a bit. And because of that, it made me start thinking that this sky was darker than I wanted it to be, because the comparison was making it look really, really dull back there. And so that's why I'm doing this. And but it makes me think that every time you change one part of your painting, you have to think about the other parts of your painting. It's not, they're so connected, and everything that you do affects the other parts of your painting. And I didn't really work in this same order today, because I started doing quite a bit of detail stuff on some of this without blocking in all the colors and values, but it shows why getting those final areas covered and blocked in matters so much, because until you see that, you really don't have a good idea of whether or not you have gotten that value correct. And And in this case, it's just kind of like that. It's like, I think now what I need to do is, I think that this rock right here is a little bit big. And it's actually not dark enough. I think that I need to darken it up a little bit just to create that contrast. A little bit more contrast there. It might be, I'm gonna put a little bit of color onto that background area back there, and I might lighten that up just a little bit too as I'm doing this. And I kind of want to differentiate that from the sky. I think that I want to have that cover that whole thing. And I'll come back and bring some variety into this after I go over all of it. But hopefully lightening it up a little bit like this will push it back a little ways. It'll make it feel like it's further away. That's part of what I'm hoping happens, and I might need to exaggerate that. Because in the real picture, its value is pretty dark. It's still fairly dark, but you know what we're trying to do really is we're always trying to create the best painting we can. And so if your photograph is, you know, maybe not helping your painting, you need to diverge from your photograph or your reference or whatever you're looking at. Even if you're just looking at real life, you have to know how to build your painting yourself and not just paint exactly what's in front of you, or else you'll kind of feel stuck at some point because you haven't, you've let it dictate, like whatever your reference is, you've let it dictate everything to you. And to be an artist, you kind of want to be able to say and create the painting that you want to create and say what you want to say in it. And so you really need to develop that part of your voice and your vision so that you are, what I like to say, the boss of your painting and not vice versa. I'm also going to lighten up this water and make it more of a contrast. And I'm not 100% sure if I might need to lighten it a little bit more still. And it's going to be lighter, a little bit lighter at the top, and it's going to come back towards us and get a little bit darker. It's also a little bit more green over on that side, kind of where the sun is coming from. So Willow just came in and said that she loves my painting, and I think that why do you love it, Willow? I'm guessing that it's a tropical place. Is that why you love it?
Well, more like it has water in it.
Oh, it has water. You love water. Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
I agree,
Willow's
Willow.
a willow tree. Willow trees love water. Willow could go to the beach for hours and hours and hours and hours
Oh, yeah.
and never get bored, never run out of things to do. Isn't that true, Willow?
Yes, it certainly is.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Now, let's see. It's even a little bit more up here that I'm going to just kind of do some smaller brush strokes. Bye-bye, Willa. So I feel like it's getting a little bit more of the feel of the day. And some of this paint is a little bit dry, but it's giving me a little bit of yellow to put into my water here, just to add into that blue to make it slightly more green. But these, oh, go ahead.
Well, we got a few different questions.
Okay.
But Todd says, "This is looking so beautiful, Jed. Best part of my day today is watching this painting come to life."
Sweet, awesome.
Yeah. And then Renea asks, "What is the significance of your necklaces and bracelets?"
Oh, well, let's see. My necklaces are all, boy, they're from all over. I'm trying to think about where I've gotten them. I just accumulated necklaces. For whatever reason, I've loved necklaces a lot. And I've always thought, man, there should be more guy necklaces. You know, there's a lot of girl necklaces on the main guy necklaces that I'd always see were like the kind of,
like the chain?
Chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a chain, you know, like a big chain or something. And I'm like, that's not really what I want. And so a lot of times I'll just like, I don't know, I used to make necklaces. Sometimes like, you know, you'd be at some event or like camp or something like that. And I always like make a bracelet or a necklace or something.
Oh, yeah.
So I always just liked them, right? And then somehow kind of, that just stayed with me because I liked them when I was a kid, and I've always kept liking them. But they don't have any super big significance. Like there's not, they're all different. I've got like, I probably got one at a Goodwill, you know, like I probably paid one. I went to a jewelry store once and got one made custom by this lady who did beadwork, you know. They're all different things, but there's nothing that's like super significant about them. My bracelets, on the other hand, have a little bit more significance for me. So we have these ones. This is Acrylic University, and on the back it says, "Creativity takes courage," which is, of course, the quote by Henry Matisse. And then this one right here is from Michelangelo, and he says, "I'm still learning." And I just think like those two statements were perfect. They're both what, if you became a member to Acrylic University, you would get these two bracelets. They're kind of like what I look at as like, this is what we want to be about. Like, we want to be humble, like Michelangelo, who, I mean, if you think of great artists, you think like Michelangelo, wow. And he says, "I'm still learning." So, right, we all need to just go, okay, then I'm just going to learn my whole life, and I'm not going to act like I know everything and, you know, try to impress people, that kind of thing. I'm just going to be humble and learn. And so that's that. And then the other one saying creativity takes courage, I mean, that's just flat out, it's true. You know, like, yes, are there other things that take courage? Yes, there's lots of things that take courage in life, but creativity is definitely one thing that takes courage, and it's hard, it's challenging, it's fearful. Like, people get insecure. We all have to wrestle with our own doubts and stuff like that as we're, you know, facing a blank canvas or a blank page if you're a writer or whatever it is. It all is related in the fact that we need courage to create, and I think there's something really good in it. So that's what those are about. And then these other ones, this one is actually a Bible verse. It says Matthew 5:9, and it says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." And just very significant to me. This one is actually from a camp, and it's a leader bracelet. I got this like 6 years ago when I was, I worked for an organization that worked with high school kids, and we'd always take kids to camp. And I was a leader, believe it or not. I probably was. I think some of the reasons that I liked working with high school kids was because I related with them a lot. Like, I feel like I was I still am. I'm a kind of immature guy, and I think that I kind of relate with high school kids because I'm probably on their maturity level, something like that. But it was a very rich time of my life. I love those kids, and I still stay in contact with them. In fact, just today I was texting some of them, and so it's just a reminder of them and of that time of life, and that no matter where we are, our lives matter, and we can invest ourselves in other people, and it will be the best investment. Like there's nothing else that you can do that is as important as what you can do to better another person's life, right? Like, life is not about getting stuff, it's about giving, and that's kind of what that bracelet reminds me of. And the fact that it says leader is that I think a lot of times I don't think of myself as a leader. I just, kind of think, that's somebody else. Like, I'm not that kind of person. But that is a statement of, this bracelet is kind of like saying, no, like, own it. Like, be who you're called to be. Don't shirk off responsibility, and try to live the way that you're meant to live. And so yeah, that's what those are about. Good observation.
Yeah, good
I didn't know that anybody noticed those things. But yeah, I totally believe that, we all have a purpose, and it's significant, and like one of my goals recently, I've been thinking about goals a fair amount, and I've been thinking about what my goals are, and one of the things that I said in my goals was, like, I want to be who I was called to be 100%. Like, I don't want to be 50%. I want to be 100%. And so, yeah. It takes courage to live the way that we're supposed to live, and love the way we're supposed to love, and all that. That's what I'm aiming at.
Yeah, good question.
Really good question. Okay, it's getting almost to time, bro. I think I'm getting pretty close to getting done here. But
sounds good. I can pick somebody
how
out
long,
for the.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of thinking. Maybe we should get doing that. So if you haven't, you need to do this right now, because Peter's going to be picking this like pronto. You need to text the word WIN to this number, 425-310-4182. And if you're lucky, you might squeak your number in right before Peter picks it, and you could get picked. But you got to get your number in there. And you actually also need to follow up. So it'll send you a text back. I forget to say this sometimes, but it'll actually give you a reply. And you need to go in. If you haven't texted that number before, you need to add yourself to my contacts, or it won't allow you to be part of the thing, because you have to be a contact of mine to do that. And I can't add you. That's just the way it is. You have to add yourself in this in the way that this phone book works, and so it's on you.
All right, I contacted the winner, and I'm waiting for a text back.
Okay, cool. Nice, thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Peter's here for me, man. Makes all this stuff happen. He calms me down when I'm stressed out sometimes, like, right, Peter? You know you got that role. Everyone's, not all the time, right? I mean, I'm not like always stressed, but there are times like when I'm like trying to get technological stuff done that I'll like, oh man, this stuff is just beyond my pay grade and I don't like it. I don't want to have to figure this out. Come on.
Yeah.
Peter's like, it'll work. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Don't worry, dude. It's all gonna work out. Hey, that reminds me. I gotta tell this story because so we were just talking about me being in the high school back. It was in Indianapolis, and one of the things that I used to do with these guys was I would play basketball with them, and we did it every Wednesday night for like quite a while. And I love these guys, man, and I'm telling you, like, even just thinking about them, it's bringing tears to my eyes because, you know, when you're poor and you don't have you don't have like a lot of connections in the world that are gonna help you big time, like get a job or anything like that. Like, you get overlooked a lot, and these kids got overlooked a lot, and they were counted out a lot because people would never expect them to do anything. And so I just saw for the first time in my life just a closer look at what their lives were like. And what I saw was that, not how hard their life was or how poor it was or whatever. All that stuff was true, but the thing that stood out to me was how incredible these kids were and how gifted they were and how talented they were and how much they had to offer and how much potential they had and all this stuff that was like, oh my goodness, these kids are incredible. They're honestly like so amazing, right? And that was what stood out to me. But at the same time, working with them, like there were times when I'd just be pulling my hair out, man. Like on these basketball nights, I'd be, trying to talk to them and get them to do something, and they'd be totally acting up and, just crazy stuff that would happen. They just get me so frustrated sometimes. And I had this one friend that he did it with me. He was like, there were a few guys that were there with me in it, but this guy was there like all the time. He was just Mr. Faithful, man. And the cool thing was I would get I remember one time I got so mad at them. I mean, here it is. I'm a Christian guy trying to, help these guys, find God, basically. That's like what I was doing. And here I am, I'm cussing at them. I'm so mad. I'm like livid. I'm just like so mad at them. And I'm like, because sometimes they just wouldn't listen. They would do their own thing, like whatever it was. And I'm just like mad, I'm cussing, and they leave, and my friend is like, he comes up, he's just like, bro, man, it's just like faithfulness, man. Faithfulness. That's all it's about. Like, just show up, keep doing it. Don't give up, like that kind of thing. And I just think it's funny because, like, when you're talking, you're like calming me down with the, hey, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Just remind me just a little bit of that, like right now, like, don't worry, man, it's going to work out. It'll be okay. Just keep working at it. Keep working at it. You got this. You got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never. Go ahead.
I know Jed, he was talking about that just a little bit ago, but Jed really is a leader. Like, he will, if he sees something that he can help somebody with or take charge of or something needs to happen, he'll just jump in and do it, and he's relentless with it. And you need a friend like Jed, is what I'm saying.
Thanks, man. That's
Yeah.
kind of you. Did you get any word back?
I did. I sure did.
Sweet.
Julie is the winner.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm pumped about this, Julie. What do you guys think? Was it okay? I think the colors look a little bit funky where you are, but they look better actually here. Up here in my screen, I don't know what it looks like to you, but in the screen, it looks a little bit more like purple blue, but in my real life view, it's a little bit more like the picture is. It's got a little bit more of that phthalo blue in it. But awesome. Peter, do you think I should test and see if the audio is synced up now at the end of the night?
Might as well.
Might as well, right? I mean, seriously.
If it's not, we love you guys.
All right, we do. We love you. We believe in you. And I'm sorry if this audio does look funky, but it's just one of the things that happens for whatever reason with my my microphone. But love you, believe in you. Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Come back because we are going somewhere else, and I can't remember where it is, but it's going to be awesome. Oh yeah, it's the Niagara Falls. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one, guys.
Good night, guys.